Hi, my name is David Pohl, and I'd like to welcome you to Portland Film Beat. Tonight, my guest is Chris Kiefer. He's the creative director and owner of Skeye Studios, and Patrick Fischer, who is the business development director at Skeye Studios. Hey, guys.
Hi, nice to meet you, Dave.
Thanks for having us on the
being
show,
here,
Dave.
Man. Yeah. Anyway, let's get started with Chris. What did you do before you switched to media and film?
Before I got into the film world, I was actually an engineer. I have been told I should be an engineer my whole life. Went to school, got an engineering degree, got a job right away, like an engineer should, and found out that it wasn't. I wasn't too passionate about it.
What pushed you to change? What got you to change jobs?
Honestly, it was about 6 months in. I had been sitting in my cubicle and I was working on some differential equations in my cubicle.
I don't even like to hear the word differential equation. I had to try and do those.
That's right.
Yeah, I tried to do those in college.
It didn't take long before I realized that that's not. I wasn't about sitting in a cubicle and not being creative and all that stuff. And I just decided it was time for a change.
I'm glad you did that at a young age. I wish I would have done it earlier. Yeah. Patrick, what got you to switch? What did you do before you did media, and what made you switch?
Yeah. Well, I've always been a film guy. I love movies.
Okay.
But going into college, I thought I was going to do psychology, and then it was like I was more interested in these other areas, art and everything else, and then I got a camera, and I just went full on into it. I started doing my own stuff.
So how did you two meet?
That's interesting.
You can take this one.
Yeah.
Okay, because
when did we first fall in love?
Wait, Chris went to college in Montana, and did you both go to college in Montana?
No, so that's the interesting coincidence. I actually went to school in Minnesota, but my dad is a professor in Montana.
Oh, okay.
Right, and so then he was Chris's professor.
Patrick's dad happens to be an engineering professor who taught me engineering, and it was shortly after I started Skeye Studios. We were back at Carroll doing some promotional work for Carroll.
At the college you went to.
And I was doing a video on the engineering department, and I happened to be interviewing Patrick's dad, and Patrick's dad, who was my engineering professor, was like, "So how's this video thing going?" I was like, "Pretty good." And he said, "You know, I don't know if you're hiring, but my son happens to be doing some video stuff now."
Yeah,
so
we were in contact through my father, which is funny.
What are the 3 secrets that take a documentary to the next level?
Well, when we were planning out and writing the script for the documentary, one of the things that we had to realize and try and problem solve was that there's going to be a lot of FaceTime of just an interview with someone, and how do you make an interview more engaging? So there were 3 things that we purchased. One was a motorized slider. The other was a electromagnetic stabilizer for the camera, which is called a DJI Ronin. And the third thing was we shot all of the footage in 4K. So what that allowed us to do in post was we could turn either 1 or 2 camera angles into 3 or 4 camera angles by being able to punch in and zoom in and make it look like we had multiple camera angles, when in reality we usually only had 1 for those interviews. And then the Ronin was an amazing, if you have not seen the DJI Ronin, it is probably one of the coolest pieces of equipment out there. I could run down the street full speed sprinting, and you just have a buttery smooth shot.
Isn't that
crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell us about Patrick, why don't you tell us about making Timber Gastro Pub commercial?
Yeah, so that was actually right around the same time that we were going to do the first screening for Beef, and so going up and doing it, it was a particularly interesting undertaking because it was a narrative style. So we had a little girl that was going to be.
Yeah, we're going to watch it.
Oh, perfect.
She's
okay.
great.
Yeah, she is. She was really talented, and she did an excellent job. I mean, it was a great experience, and it was actually a great experience for Skye, just because we hadn't really done anything with a restaurant in that style, so that was cool.
All right, and we're going to actually take 30 seconds here and watch the commercial for Timber Gastro Pub, and we'll be right back. She did a great job.
Yeah.
She does a phenomenal job. And so who edited that?
So we recently hired a lady or a woman Can I say that again?
Go ahead.
Okay. We recently hired another woman. Her name is Maggie Anderson, and the idea was originally hers to begin with, and it was really cool to be able to use her. She's got her master's in film. She's very talented, and so moving forward, she wrote the whole thing, put it together, and then she was the one that edited it for us also.
Right. And so who did the sound design then?
That was kind of a collaborative effort with Maggie and another person in our studio, Jacob Spence. The two of them, basically, it's pretty amazing to see when you take two very talented people and just kind of set them loose. And Maggie did the scripting, storyboarding, and the planning for it. And then Jacob, phenomenal cinematographer, and really focused on the sounds that you hear in that commercial to try and, in a 30-second commercial, you've got to say a lot with very little time, and every second counts.
Every second, yeah, I shot commercials. You do a lot with drones. We won't see that in your documentaries or the commercials, but you do a lot with drones. Who operates the camera on those? Who does the camera operation of the drones?
The pilot does, whether it's me or one of the other pilots.
And you don't call it a drone, do you?
Yeah, we actually don't fly drones. This is a very technical thing.
It looks like a drone to me. We're going to watch it.
For all the filmmakers out there, it is. We actually fly model aircraft that has video on it. So that's a very important distinction in today's world where all the laws are popping up. But we, as filmmakers, fly model aircraft, which people may refer to as drones in other settings.
Okay.
Not to be mistaken.
We're going to actually take 30 seconds and watch their DJ-1 Phantom. Is that right?
DJI Phantom.
We're going to watch the DJI Phantom. We'll be right back. Looked like a drone to me. Okay, so what does Skye Studios offer in aerial media?
Well, we do any sort. I mean, the spectrum of things that we can do is pretty broad, but
We've got a lot of great equipment.
right, yeah, and it's particularly interesting.
And you can see that, and you can see the quality in the images and the sound just from the first two videos, yeah.
Right, yeah. So we've definitely developed a pretty interesting just style and technique and company overall, and the aerial shots definitely add a whole different aspect, I would say, in the artistic field.
So how did you get involved with the Family Justice Center of Washington County?
So
That's interesting.
That was before my time.
It is, yeah. We it's in the film world. It's all about networking, and I know you're a very well connected man in Portland. And the more people
Not as well as I'd like to be. Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
The more people that it's all. I mean, you could have the best team, the best crew, and production company in the world, and if no one knows about you, you're never going to have any business, and you're going to go out of business very quickly.
Right.
And that's been a huge focus for every one of us in our company is go out, meet people, talk to people, tell your friends and family what you're doing.
Is that what Patrick does a lot of, business director, development?
Exactly,
Yeah.
Okay.
Part of networking groups and...
Well, he's got a great personality, so hey, I get it.
That's right.
Not that yours is bad. You got a nice laugh. So tell us how you got involved again. You just networking?
It was networking. It was
It
actually...
was out in Washington County, right?
Yep.
Out there in Hillsborough where you guys are located.
That's correct. So it was a friend of a friend that said, hey, I know, it was someone that was on the board for the Domestic Violence Resource Center, and talk came up of this campaign that they're running, and they needed a video. I mean, they didn't know anyone else, lucky for us, and they said, hey, what do you guys think of this? And we are very passionate about working with nonprofits and doing meaningful, purposeful videos.
Tell us what it's about then. We're going to watch a few minutes of it. Tell us what it's about, Patrick.
Right. So and I really shouldn't be the expert on this, just because I wasn't actually working at Skye Studios when we made it.
You can tell us, though. It's your turn to talk.
I will say that when I first came on, it was the video that I first sat back and was like, wow, this is pretty cool. Great light dramatization. Everything was really dramatic and cool, but it's essentially about domestic abuse survivors,
right?
And the services that the Family Justice Center offers is...
It brings them all together.
Right, yeah.
Because, you know, I watched it, and these women who get away from an abusive situation are kind of like left hanging.
Right.
And so this kind of brings together like 15 organizations, is that right?
Into one building, yeah. And that's not just women. Families are greatly affected by this.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, when you're in a domestic violence situation, you have to go to the courthouse, to the police station, to daycare, to the grocery store, all this stuff. And they're taking all of that, putting it all into one building. So when you're in a difficult or dangerous situation, a lot of times women's lives are on the line, like they could be killed.
Well, guys with a gun.
Exactly.
Actually, we're going to take 30 seconds, and we're going to watch a little bit of the Family Justice Center of Washington County. We'll be right back.
So I get on the phone and I'm in tears, and the nurse is like, listen, if you feel like you don't need to come in, that's fine. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, oh, so you need me to come in? And I'm crying. And she's like, no, but if you feel like you need to, you're more than welcome to. And I was like, oh, so you need me to be seen? And you could tell she was confused, right? But the reason why I did that is because I needed him to think I was expected somewhere. So I called back my doctor's office and I just simply told them, hey, I know I was acting weird on the phone. I'm in a lot of danger. He has a gun and my child's still in the house. And then they were like, oh my God, stay on the phone. And all I told them was, I'll keep the phone on, but I have to put it down. I have to run now. The justice system, I know they get arrested, but that's as far as the officer can protect me. He'd be able to bail himself out, and I knew I had nowhere to go after that.
1 in 4 women has been a victim of domestic violence, so that's a quarter of our female population.
Domestic violence calls are a unique animal in police work because they're very unpredictable. There are a number that I have been on in my life that I will always remember because of the nature of the violence.
A survivor of intimate partner violence tries on average 7 times to get out of a relationship.
Even if they do seek help, even if they do call the police or their offender is taken away, they are left floundering to try to figure out what to do.
Our current arrangement is that the survivor has to go to 5, 10, 15 different organizations to get all of the things that they need.
The Family Justice Center brings professionals together under one roof to provide services to victims. It will allow police officers, prosecutors, advocates, doctors, therapists to be there. All these organizations will come together and form a steering committee which will bring the Family Justice Center to reality in Washington County.
You know, it's scary. I don't think that everybody understands the scary situations that some of these people are in.
Yeah, and particularly, with those sorts of instances, there's a lot of legality issues and things in place that sort of perpetuate it. But yeah, no, it is a great cause for sure, and that's actually one of 2 that we've done for that cause.
Did they just say, tell us what you want to do, or did they have kind of something scripted out for you in advance?
Yeah, they were very, anytime we're working with a client, we always sit down and try and understand what that client is,
Right.
what's the goal. We can't just make a video for the sake of making a video, and that was a very intentionally designed video to help them raise the $400,000 that they needed.
That's a lot.
To build and create this facility that will then eventually be self-sustaining. But that was basically, they said, this is what we need to do. You guys tell us how to get there, and that's what we did.
After making the video, what effect did it have on you?
I don't know, it's a pretty emotional experience. It's eye-opening, to say the least. It's
Right.
definitely something to see that.
Well, because we see what you edited together.
Right.
We don't see everything that you actually experienced. There's a lot more that you guys were involved with and filmed, and
Yeah, well, we were in discussion with the police departments, and we talked to real survivors and everything.
No, we shot it in a lot of different locations.
It was. I do have to say that I had no idea the amount of influence and impact that domestic violence has on our community, and I think it's one of those things where everyone thinks, oh, it's like I'm not experiencing it, or they're in denial about whether or not they've experienced it.
It's not
But the
happening to me, it's
statistics,
somebody else.
yeah, the statistics are astounding. That it is a very real issue that needs to be dealt with in Washington County.
You guys are doing a lot of great work, and we're going to look at, we're talking about Novo, active listening device.
Yeah.
How did you get hooked up with that? Because that's not even in the Portland area, is it?
Yeah, so we have, well, there was two, but now there's just one from the California area that worked with us, and there was some networking that had happened due to jobs that we were doing down there, and yeah, it was a product that was being developed in Silicon Valley, and it was, you know.
And it's an interesting device.
Yeah.
They have to go and look at their website, and you'll see a link to it. And, yeah, we're not going to be able to show that one.
No,
what added value does Skeye Studios provide?
Well, when we're working with clients, the biggest thing that we really strive for is we're trying to make sure that we're not just filling orders. We're really trying to grow their business to the next level. And that means when you're working in the commercial industry with video, it's all about how much money is this video that they're buying from you, how much more money are they going to make?
Right, return on investment.
Exactly. It's all about the ROI, and that's what we focus on. And we do that by trying to take a holistic approach rather than just doing video. We work collaboratively with other creative agencies to make sure that we're getting the client exactly what they need.
Patrick, what does OASC stand for?
So OASC is the Oregon Association of Student Councils, and we've done some work with them. They're it's a camp. It's a great opportunity for kids.
So who are the students and how they get selected? There's like 200 of them, right?
Well, they're all student council members.
Okay,
yeah,
so
it's a choice. They sign up for it. It's a leadership camp. So
and you shot this down in Monmouth. Is that at the college down there?
Western Oregon.
Western Oregon. Okay, and tell us. Okay, so you're there for a week, and from what I read from your website, you do you shoot and try and edit and have something together every weekday for them.
Every night. So we shoot all day, and then at about 6 p.m. we take hours and hours of footage.
It's a very high
and
stress
then
situation.
you stay up till 2, 3.
So do you stay down
4.
there? Or you
yeah, we were in the dorms.
Oh, okay, all right.
We went back to the college days.
So that's
for
probably
this.
an experience.
Yeah, it's definitely an immersion into that.
So you guys got to be worn out by the end of that week.
Oh my, yeah, it's 2 weeks long, and at
Oh,
the
it's
end,
2 weeks.
Yeah, it's 2 sessions. Each session is 1 week long.
Oh, you do both of them.
But it's a fun experience. I think it's on the level of a 48-hour, 72-hour film contest.
Okay, so do the kids get involved with you, or is it just you two?
Totally.
Yeah.
They're involved. Yeah, and we try to make them involved too.
Right.
So we were giving them opportunities to make their own videos and everything else.
Right, that sounds exciting. How did you hear about Scott Smiley?
So my sister is actually a news anchor up in Spokane, Washington.
Okay.
And Scotty had a number of stories done on him in the past. And Nicole, working for KHQ, the NBC affiliate up there, she heard this story and she called me up and said, Chris, this is an amazing story. You guys got to jump on this before someone else does.
Right.
And we did.
So did you have to go up to Spokane area or something?
Oh yeah,
Seattle
we
and shoot
made several trips up there in the last 7 months.
Oh wow, okay. We're gonna watch the trailer for Beat Feet documentary. Beat Feet, it's right behind us. We're gonna watch the trailer Beat Feet documentary, and we'll be right back.
In basketball, there are things like, we're going to get buckets. We're not just going to play basketball, we're going to get buckets. You know, we're not just going to go run, we're going to beat feet. There's action, like it's a call to action for a purpose. And Scotty, that's what he does every day of his life.
The Ironman's a 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike, and a 26.2 mile run or a marathon. I'm blind, and so I need a partner for every part of the race.
Skeye is one of the most inspiring people I've ever been around. He always faces every situation with a positive outlook. And it teaches me a lesson on a near daily basis, just to not take anything for granted.
There's always a fear of what can go wrong. And the military is so amazing because we practice every known scenario. What's hard is reacting in a manner and a fashion in which you're protecting your life, you're protecting your men, and you're completing the mission. Because many times a mission may mean that you lose a certain percentage of your men.
See the IED.
I first learned, you know, we don't know if he's gonna live. Then I learned we removed his eye, and we're gonna have to remove his second eye. And at that point, I couldn't imagine life for him being fulfilled.
Her terms to us, or at least my wife's term to me, was he's got sight impairment. So I took that as, well, one of his eyes got damaged or something.
So we try to focus on the positive, and you have to fight for it personally because it's not something that comes easy. If I was just focusing on everything Scotty can't do, he wouldn't be here doing the Ironman.
There are many people who can see who do not know purpose. I'm sure that Scotty went through many dark moments, but I'm also sure that he can see his purpose. It's a real honor for me to do the narration of a documentary for Skeye Studios on Scotty Smiley, who to me is one of the most extraordinary human beings on this planet.
That is inspirational. I mean, that is really inspirational. Who was the coach again?
So the narrator of that was Coach Mike Krzyzewski. He's the coach of Duke, legendary coach. He's also the coach of Team USA, and is someone that we were very excited to have on board for the narration of the film.
Wow. Mm-hmm. How long is the actual film?
It's about 45 minutes, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
40, yeah, 45.
Where can people watch it?
They can't yet. Well, they can at specific screenings. So we're traveling around, and we're actually...
Okay, that's exciting. Can they find out about it on your website when the next screening will be?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a number of places that you can go, but I would say skyestudios.com, and that's SKEYE studios.com.
Okay, he's got this. I think he's got a little
Right,
subtitle
right,
up there.
right underneath me. Yeah. But that has all the information, also our Facebook page and whatnot. But we have a number of screenings. I can say, even if you can't make it to the screening, the most surefire way to get to watch the film would be to participate in the crowdfunding campaign that we did to fund this whole thing.
Okay, wow. And what difficulties did you run into shooting it? Because you had to go around when he was on a bike, he's swimming, and running.
Well, it was actually unusually hot that time of year for some reason. It was 110.
104. It was
104,
up there.
yeah.
Were one of you two doing the camera work?
All of us.
All of us were.
The whole studio.
really?
Yeah, we had the whole
You
team.
had the steady
working
cam
on it.
thing going.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was intense.
All right. Did you get in the water too?
We
GoPro?
were on a boat. We
Oh, you were on a boat?
didn't get into wetsuits or anything, or I guess we would have needed a wetsuit,
Yeah.
but we were on a boat following them around during the swim.
Okay. So did you have to get a lot of permission from event organizers to do all that?
There is a process, yeah.
They were super.
Right, mhm.
They were super generous with it, though.
What are a few things you learned about making beef feet? Is that your first documentary?
It is.
Yeah. It's
What's different in that then, making a documentary than making a commercial?
Well, we weren't working for anybody, that's for sure. It was definitely the creative interest of the entire company, and so we were able to really let loose and be able to accomplish some things that we might not have been able to do in a client situation.
Did you develop the storyline, or did you just have to go on the fly with it?
No, and actually it's interesting, we worked with, everyone in our company came together for this. There was, I think, 7 different people that were heavily involved in the process. But we went through several script revisions where we had come up, we planned out chapter 1, 2, 3, trying to introduce, upset the apple cart and how are you going to resolve the issue. And we probably went through 3 different storylines before we finally settled on the version that we ended up going with.
So what do you think are your strengths? What do you think is Skye Studios' strengths?
Well, I think the thing that we're really good at, especially now with the crew that we have developed and have acquired.
How many people are? 5.
5 people now, yeah.
Full time?
Yep. And they're very, very different. Everyone in our company has a different specialty, which is the other thing that's super exciting. And we've had a number of people actually say they're surprised at how well we all get along. Yeah. It's almost like a family with a bunch of siblings, but we don't fight as much as I fought with my siblings growing up.
Yeah.
What is your favorite part of media production then, Patrick?
Oh, I'm mostly involved in, I do a lot of the business acquisition, but I'm also part of the creative development, so I like
Sounds like you carry a camera once in a while too.
Yeah, every now and then. I like the creative process. I like to just see like how things develop. So.
And Chris, what's your favorite part?
My favorite part is just, it's actually one of the reasons why I think that I wasn't cut out for a real job. And that is that I
understand.
I love the infinite possibility of when you get a bunch of people that are passionate about the same thing as everyone in our company is, what we're capable of when we're all focused on one goal is just mind-blowing. And I'm so humbled looking back at what we started as and what we're doing now. It's been 2 years, and we're not even close to the same company that we were.
Well, when I call there and I want to talk to you guys, it's like, well, they're not here right now. They're out shooting somewhere. It's like, okay, well, leave a message. And then it's like the day later, it's like, oh, hey, how you doing? You call back.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad to hear. I'm excited to hear that you're busy, because that means you're actually doing a lot. So are you currently working on new commercials or documentaries or anything like that you can talk about?
Yeah, well, we are we work with several small business owners. We're working with a realtor right now, developing a web series for her. We are working with
painting company, window
company,
cleaning company, roofing company,
an energy company up in Idaho.
It's basically it's the commercial video business. Lots of everything nowadays being online and YouTube and whatnot and websites. Everybody needs video, no matter what your industry is.
It's true.
You need video to explain what you do.
And every project is vastly different too. Yeah. So it's like, all these different areas, you have to be able to localize what you want to do with it.
One last question, Chris. Where do you hope to see Skeye Studios in 5 years?
In 5 years, Skeye Studios will be a major production company on the West Coast. I think that we're going to be competing with any big time company for all the what's the name of those companies? Fortune 500 companies.
Okay,
we're going to be up there with Nike, Intel, Microsoft.
I hope you
we'll
are.
Be in the mix.
And is it okay if people email you?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, you want them to, right?
Yeah, we love getting emails, whether it's fan mails, inquiries on how we do what we do.
Okay. It sounds like you got a lot of great equipment, which helps. That's true. We're going to have to break away. Thank you for tuning in to Portland Film Beat. I want to thank Chris and Patrick for being here. It was a great time. I want to thank Carol Pullen, my executive producer. I want to thank Ellery Nelson, my director. And until next time on Portland Film Beat, shoot for the silver screen.